What is this Lok Adalat? Lok Adalat is also one concept which came into existence. Mainly, you know that the cases in the High Court, the cases in the Supreme Court are lakhs of cases are pending. Lakhs of cases are pending, and the number of petitions are increasing on day on day. So the pendency of cases is numerous. In order to reduce the number of cases in the judiciary, in order to reduce the number of cases coming into the judicature, there is a need for alternative dispute resolution. There is a need for alternative dispute resolution. This alternative dispute resolution can be mediation, negotiation, arbitration, or reconciliation. These are the some of the alternative dispute resolutions, which can be a mediation, which can be a negotiation, which can be arbitration, which can be a reconciliation. So these are different methods of alternative dispute resolution. Why? Because what is the function of the court? The function of the court is to resolve the dispute, to solve the disputes. In order to solve the disputes, we want alternative mechanisms other than the judiciary. The alternative mechanisms other than the judiciaries are arbitration, mediation, negotiation, reconciliation, and this alternative dispute resolutions are quicker, easier, cost effective. Hence, these mechanisms are emphasized by the government of India. So, one of the alternative dispute resolution mechanism is Lok Adalat. One of the alternative dispute resolution mechanism is Lok Adalat. So, what does this Lok Adalat will do? What is this Lok Adalat will do? That is what we are going to discuss in this particular session. Lok Adalat is a system of alternative dispute resolution developed in India. It thoroughly means people's court. It means people's court. Lok Adalat is called as people's court, whereby the system of Lok Adalat is based on the principle of the Pancha Parameshwar of Gram Panchayat, which were also proposed by Mahatma Gandhi. The idea of Lok Adalat was mainly advocated by Justice Bhagavati, a former Chief Justice of India. They are held periodically for exercising such jurisdiction as they determine. The first Lok Adalat was held in Gujarat in 1982. What is Lok Adalat, sir? Simple. Lok Adalat is nothing but a Adalat which is like how we have Panchayat system. Earlier times in Chola dynasty, how we have Panchayat system. In colonial times, how we have Panchayat system. In today villages also there are Panchayat systems are there. Panchayats, hereditary panchayats, traditional panchayats, not statutory panchayats, traditional panchayats. Statutory panchayats are gram panchayats, gram sarpanch. I am talking about the panchayats which are traditional panchayats. So, they will be resoluting the disputes at the level of village in order to rebring back, in order to revisit back. There is a concept called as Lok Adalat. Under Lok Adalat, mainly the disputes will be solved by mediation, by negotiation, by arbitration, by reconciliation. The two parties will come forward to the Lok Adalat. The two parties will come forward at Lok Adalat before litigation or in the litigation also. They can come to the Lok Adalat, two parties, they can sit together, yes, please give us judgment. This is my issue, that is that person's issue. So both will be discussing their issues, and the Lok Adalat will be listening the positives, negatives, and they will be giving the judgment at the local level. That particular dispute resolution mechanism is called as Lok Adalat at the local level, away from the general judicature. Away from the general judicature is called as Lok Adalat. Mainly the cases of telephone bills, cell phone bills, bank loans, or matrimonial disputes, property disputes. These disputes will be solved at the level of Lok Adalat. Here the two parties, the degree which is given, degree means the order which is given by the Lok Adalat is binding on both of them. Compulsory, these two parties should follow the judgment which is given by the Lok Adalat. And the judgment which is given by the Lok Adalat is having the similar order, will be having the similar level of importance as if civil court. That is Lok Adalat. Lok Adalat forum where cases, disputes pending or at pre-litigation stage, not yet brought before the court, are compromised or settled in an amicable manner. So here nothing but compromise. Before going into the court, the two parties will sit together, like this husband is beating me, I don't want this husband. So in spite of going to the court for the sake of divorce, the dispute can be solved at the level of panchayat in our villages. In the same way, under the judicature, but which is away from the judicature, which is called as Lok Adalat. Localized form of general judicature, localized form of general judicature or local model of general judicature is called as Lok Adalat. Meaning by Supreme Court, the Lok Adalat is an old form of adjudicating system prevailed in ancient India, and its validity has not been taken away even in the modern days also. Lok People's Court, the system is based on Gandhian principles. It is nothing but an alternative dispute resolution mechanism. As Indian courts are overburdened with numerous courses, numerous cases, there is a need for alternative mechanism, and this Lok Adalat is going to be the alternative mechanism. Thus, Lok Adalat provides an alternative resolution. Lok Adalat, another alternative system in judicial justice. That is what? So, first Lok Adalat camp was being conducted in 1982. First Lok Adalat. At that time, this functioned as a voluntary and conciliatory agency. But they thought that the Lok Adalat is working effectively. There is a need for legislation. Hence, Lok Adalat got statutory status under Legal Services Act of 1987. National Legal Services Act of 1987. Under the same act, Lok Adalats also came into existence. Under the same act of National Legal Services Authority, NALSA, how it came into existence? Under the same act, this Lok Adalat came into existence. So, NALSA Act of 1987 is having two functions. One function is NALSA, other function is Lok Adalat. So, what? The Act makes the following provisions for Lok Adalat. The State Legal Service Authority or the District Legal Service Authority or the Supreme Court Legal Services Committee or the High Court Legal Services Committee or the Taluk Level Service Committee may organize Lok Adalats. Every Lok Adalat organized for an area shall consist of such number of serving or retired judicial officers. So, yes, there will be the judicial officer. There will be a judicial officer. Here one question we can expect in prelims. Sir, who is judicial officer? Judicial officer means judge only. Judicial officer means judge only. But who is below the district judge? Like a metropolitan judge, like a city judge. Sessions judge is also called as district judge. District judge is called as district judge in civil cases. District judge is called as sessions judge under criminal cases. Down to the sessions judge, down to the district judge are called as judicial officers. So, any judicial officer can predominate on the Lok Adalat. He will be sitting in the Lok Adalat. The judge below the district judge, he will be sitting in the Lok Adalat and he will be giving the judgments. And other persons of the areas may be specified by the agency organizing such Lok Adalat. Generally, a Lok Adalat consists of a judicial officer as the chairman and a lawyer or advocate and a social worker as member. Lok Adalat shall have ensure jurisdiction, any case pending before any court, any matter which is falling within the jurisdiction of any court and not brought before such court. Means already it is in the court, we can withdraw the case and we can go to the Lok Adalat, or before going to the court directly I can go to the Lok Adalat. So, two things. Number one, before going to the court, or else already in the court but I can withdraw the case and I can come to the Lok Adalat. These two cases will be having the jurisdiction on Lok Adalats. कौन सी मैटर डिस्कस होता है? What are all the matters which will be discussed under Lok Adalat? Mainly the matrimonial family disputes, workman compensation, he didn't pay me the money, I worked there for 1 month but he didn't pay me salary, workman compensation cases, bank recovery cases. Most of the NPAs bank recovery cases will be discussed in Lok Adalats. Waive off. Sir, he should pay 50,000 to the State Bank of India. State Bank of India and the person who took the loan both will go to the Lok Adalat and they will sit. Sir, I don't have money, I cannot pay, whatever you want you do. Whatever punishment you do, then what we can do? Then Lok Adalat will waive off. Tell that, okay man, you have to pay 50,000 to the SBI, no? Pay 20,000 and waive off it. Finish. You and bank will not have any relationship. That type of decrees will be given by the Lok Adalat. Bank recovery cases, pension cases, housing board and slum clearance cases, housing finances cases, not paying the loans, not paying the EMI, consumer grievances case, electricity matters also. Sometimes I got bill, electricity bill, every month it will get 600 rupees, now it came 6,000 rupees. I can go to the Lok Adalat, and the Lok Adalat will call the engineer from the electricity department, both will sit together and they will solve the problem amicably. In spite of going to the court, if it is go to the court, it will be unnecessary expenditure from the government side as well as from the petitioner side. Municipal waters, disputes with cellular companies, these are the various matters which are discussed under. But most important is, remember this prelims point of view, not only civil cases, in Lok Adalat, not only civil cases, but criminal cases which are compoundable. Criminal cases which are compoundable means criminal case but which can be compromised, like cheating case. It is a criminal case but which can be compounded. Rape case, it cannot be compounded. Directly we have to go to the court and the court will give the judgment. It cannot be compromised. But the Lok Adalat shall have no jurisdiction in respect of any case or matter relating to an offence not compoundable under any, which is not compoundable means if it cannot be compromised. It can be criminal or civil. It can be criminal or civil. If it cannot be compromised, then it cannot be come in front of the Lok Adalat. If it is non-compoundable, directly we have to go to the general judicature. If it is compoundable, then we can come to the Lok Adalat. Any case pending before the court can be referred to the Lok Adalat for settlement. The parties agree to settle dispute at Lok Adalat. One of the parties thereof makes the application to the court referring case to the Lok Adalat. The court is satisfied that the matter is an appropriate one to take cognizance by the Lok Adalat. So, it is a amicable dispute resolution mechanism. They can settle the case. Lok Adalat will settle the case forever. And here what will happen, before I go to the Lok Adalat, I will make a binding agreement that I will be abiding by the judgment given by the Lok Adalat. The parties to the case, the two parties to the case, they will be making a binding agreement with the Lok Adalat that we are going to abide by the judgment given by the Lok Adalat. So what will happen? The judgment which is given by the Lok Adalat is binding. They have to follow it. The Lok Adalat shall have the same powers as are vested in the civil court under the Code of Civil Procedure. While trying a suit in respect of the following matters: summoning and enforcing attendance of witness, they can call witness also. Discovery and production of any document, they can call upon the document. Reception and evidence on affidavits, they can make a writing also in affidavits. So how the civil court will be functioning, in the same way the Lok Adalat will be functioning. Further, a Lok Adalat shall have the requisite power to specify its own procedure for determination of any dispute before it. So very, very important is the Lok Adalat will have its own procedure. It's not compulsory that it should follow CRPC. It should follow CPC, Civil Procedure Code or Criminal Procedure Code or Indian Penal Code. It can follow its own procedure. Amicably, it can come to a. All proceedings before a Lok Adalat shall be deemed to be judicial proceedings within the meaning of the Indian Penal Code, and every Lok Adalat shall be deemed to be a civil court for the purpose of Code of Criminal Procedure. So, yes, the Lok Adalat is similar to a civil code. The Lok Adalat is similar to a criminal code if it is non-compoundable case. It is also acts like a criminal code. If it is a civil case, it acts like a civil code. An award of a Lok Adalat shall be deemed to be a degree of a civil court or an order of any other court. Every award made by the Lok Adalat shall be final and binding on all the parties to the dispute. No appeal, very important. No appeal shall be lie to any court against the award of the Lok Adalat. If the judgment given by the Lok Adalat, I cannot go to the High Court. I cannot go to the Supreme Court. It's final and. Why? Because before going to the Lok Adalat, I am making a binding agreement that I am going to abide by the judgment given by the Lok Adalat. Hence, you yourself making an agreement, then if you go to High Court also, whether the High Court will accept, man, you only kept the signature, no? and the Lok Adalat gave the judgment. Why you are coming near me? You only kept the signature, and the Lok Adalat gave the judgment, hence it is final and the high courts, the Supreme Court, the district courts will not take the case against the judgment given by the, this is about Lok Adalat.